So how will Satan go about the dominance of the world? This we find in Revelation chapter 13. And we're going to just have a quick study of this chapter to find the horrendous consequences of the rise of this beast. So first of all, there's the beast from the sea, which talks about a world domination, and it's about this political rise of someone who will rule the world. It's a composite picture of the great empires that had successfully ruled the world in the time of John. So the crowns and the horns, they stand for sovereignty and power, and they show an open defiance of God and represent the rising of a world leader who will govern this world as its supreme leader. Now, is that so preposterous? Let me put a proposition to you. Suppose a motion were to be passed in the United Nations that in the interests of world peace, the world would in future be governed by the United States of the world, and that each member nation would elect a governor onto an inner cabinet, and that each governor would in turn rule for a period, say, of, 3.5 years. Now, I suspect that in the current clamour for peace in our world, such a resolution could look fairly attractive for world stability. Wouldn't you like to see peace in our world? Yeah? Some of you aren't looking too sure. But at what price? You see, my friends, if such a resolution is passed, beware, because the door is open for the one who in the Bible is referred to as the Antichrist, the devil incarnate. It may be that he would not be the first leader or the second, yet soon, when the time is right, he will be seen as the only alternative for world peace. You see, too often, when people have attempted to reveal who the Antichrist is, they've looked at people such as Stalin or Hitler or Amin or Saddam Hussein or some other dictator. But I don't believe that this man will be such a monster who will be already known for terrible deeds. If we look at Isaiah 14 and verses 12 to 14, it says this about Satan. This is one of the descriptions we find of him. How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You've been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of the sacred mountain. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. O morning star, O son of the dawn. We think of that as being something beautiful. And here it is that the devil, who was an angel, is a thing of beauty. Think of how many temptations are for things of beauty. I mean, let's be honest. How many times have you lusted after an ugly person? Anybody? Or what about when you're watching your weight? How many times have you been tempted to nibble on a carrot stick instead of a cream cake? Yeah, it doesn't happen. You're drawn to that which is the beautiful and that which is appealing to you. And that's why I feel that the Antichrist will be a person who is so noble that many, many people will truly believe in him and his ideals. He will be, or she, an intelligent, honorable, upright person. A person who people will want to trust. Now, there are other passages in the Bible, most notably in the New Testament, that also reveal this Antichrist, or the man of lawlessness, as he is called in the New Testament. And prime among them is 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 1 to 12. And we discover these truths about the Antichrist in that letter of Paul's. He says he's doomed to destruction. He says that he will oppose God. He says he will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped. He says that this Antichrist will proclaim himself as God, that he will be overthrown by Jesus, that this Antichrist's power will be displayed in all kinds of miracles, signs and wonders, that this Antichrist will deceive, that people will be deluded, and that people will believe the lies that surround him. And to help him accomplish all of this, he will have his very own high priest as a leader of a new one-world faith. And that brings us to the beast of the earth depicted in Revelation 13. You know, We don't talk often enough about Satan. We very rarely mention him, but we ought to. We ought to remember how strong and powerful and how much he tries to deceive us, how much deception he puts in our world, how much he wants to destroy us, you and me and the church. We don't sing this chorus anymore, but when I was a child, growing up in the Salvation Army, we used to sing a very frightening chorus. I remember that when I was 6, when I was 5 even, we used to sing this. If you don't let him in through the window, he's sure to come in through the door, or through the skylight in the dead of the night, or he'll make his way up through the floor. It's talking about the devil, that is. And then it goes on to say, I'm glad to say you can keep him out and all of his terrible army out if you only keep trusting without any doubting and pray, pray, pray. Am I the only one who used to sing that? Oh, Hillary, I've got another convert. Thank you, Hillary. Oh, it's going back a long way, isn't it, Hillary? Yeah. So this beast from the earth, when we find it in Revelations 13, we find that it's represented by the use of a lamb, and that represents for us a priesthood. It shows us that he will be the leader of a state-dominated religion, a fake imitation of the true worship described by Jesus as being in spirit and in truth. And again, we see the deception, we see the delusion happening as he performs great and miraculous signs. My friends, beware. The world is already heading in this direction. In today's world, in the mind of today's people, you can look around to find a smorgasbord of belief and theology to match whatever you want to be your image of God. In the wake of September 11, 2001, there was a great clamour for all religions to perform acts of remembrance together. And annually, we are being urged to encompass all faiths in what is referred to as One World Week, and that takes place every October. And the idea behind that is that we worship together with the Jews, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Baha'i, and any other body who wants to join. At King Charles' coronation, not only was the Archbishop of Canterbury involved, but so were the leaders of the Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist, and Jewish communities, as all faiths were embraced under this heading of inclusivity. Can you see how we are heading already into this trap of Satan's, where it will be one world faith?